Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and once again it is time for a bench press day. But a quick reminder for those of you who watch these videos, please remember to click like down below. Be greatly appreciated. So, what did we do today? We did closed grip bench for my max effort lift. Yeah, I'm using 3 different grips for these, obviously messing with stuff like pins, chains, floor presses, and stuff in the rotation. So we're definitely keeping everything conjugate style. I got up to 320 on my closed grip, and quite frankly, I think it felt easier than my wider grip 320 last time. If I had to estimate, it actually felt a hair easier. Wasn't bad. Good pause, drove it up, a little slow at the lockout, but I hit that upright. So if you guys notice, it was a little grindy right there at the top because I popped that upright. And these things happen, but overall happy with the bar speed and everything. It didn't feel too bad. Felt like I left just a little bit in the tank, a little in reserve, so it wasn't 100%, but it was definitely challenging. All right, afterwards, I went with 5x5 today instead of 5x8, so I went a little heavier on the pause benching. I tried to, on the 5th rep each time, really take a long pause, tried to get a good 2 count, and then I supersetted these with dumbbell rows. I had been doing pull-ups the last couple workouts, but I also felt like today I just wanted to do some rows. I wanted to not have any sort of potential shoulder stress, anything like that, because all my shoulders and stuff are feeling good. I got a terrible night's sleep last night. I've got a lot of things going on, so I didn't get much sleep. And, you know, these things happen. So I'm really happy with today's workout in spite of that. Hopefully tonight is better, and if not this weekend, I'll get caught up on sleep. It's just I've got a bunch of stuff going on I got to deal with. So stress is up, sleep is up. But you know what? Still having good workouts. And I think because all the other lifestyle factors are on point, I've had my stress really well mitigated lately. I have my training volumes in a good spot. Nutrition is on point. Like my diet is so clean, so antioxidant rich. And then other special supplements. Everything's kind of going good with the recovery, so I'm happy about that. I can't really complain. So the fact that I came in and performed well on almost no sleep, I can't be anything but happy about that. What more do you say? So I did 5x10 on the 1-arm dumbbell rows, and I like dumbbell rows. They're one of those that I rotate them in for phases. Sometimes I do them for long phases. I take them out for a long time. They're always going to be one of my staple exercises. I like the way they feel. I feel that they bring a lot to the table just in terms of range of motion. I feel a lot of lat and posterior delt on those. Okay. I feel those really, really effectively. They're a good grip trainer. The only thing they maybe lack on compared to some of the other movements, I don't feel as much bicep. So I don't get a lot of bicep on these. So when I'm doing these, doing curls of some type does need to kind of happen. It needs to happen mainly because I don't have good biceps. Have previously torn bicep. I don't have the best bicep genetics. So I'd never make it as a bodybuilder. Let's just be honest about it. I'd never really make it as a bodybuilder had I gone that route. But that doesn't mean that we can't build some bicep, and it's good for my bench press. It's good for injury prevention and everything else to do so. And we need to think about that. We do need to think about that in terms of stabilization on the bench press, on potentially things even like shoulder stabilization. Okay, there's reasons to build your biceps beyond just, hey, I want big biceps. No, there's benefits to doing some bicep work. We don't want to go overboard on it, but we'll save that for later in here. But yeah, so we did 5x5 pause bench, pinkies on the rings, which is I consider to be baseline grip. I've also maxed recently with a medium grip and then this closed grip today. So we're using all of those, but I tend to do the pinkies on the rings. I like it for a lot of the hypertrophy work. And it's because that's where my best stacking is. And that's stuff I've discussed in vlogs in the past, that if you really want to get the best pec activation from a hypertrophy standpoint, you need to look at those moment arms and you need to look at the wrist stacking. When you can get to the point to where your wrists and forearms and everything are perfectly stacked above the elbows at the bottom, you have the most mechanical tension possible on a bench press on the pectoral. And if you look at the bottom of my benches, that's exactly where I am. So if we're looking at it from a perspective of can I build more pec with my benching, that's a good way to do it. Your rep work on benching, looking at it that way is good, unless you really want more tricep, in which case you probably do need to be doing close grip if you feel they're a major weakness. But in this case, the pause benching is great for delts, great for the total pec. So afterwards, I'm doing JM presses. I need the extra tricep work. And I've gone through a couple different tricep exercises recently. I've kind of rotated back and forth, as you guys have noticed, between a JM press and the laying extension to where you get shoulder extension involved. So in this case, I've decided today, I'm like, look, let me just keep beefing up the triceps. Let's build them exactly the way they will be used on the bench. And then other workouts and little phases I've done the other just to help build that long head a little bit more for just overall better balance when combined with the bench press. But in this case, I'm like, let's do these JM presses because they work the triceps in a way that is very similar to what gets used on the bench. So then we just get more tricep work in. And that's the two approaches, you can take with tricep work, of looking at it of what one's going to give the most movement carryover to my benching, and then you could look at it from what's going to give the most development when combined with benching. And I'm not saying there's a wrong answer. This depends on what you want to do. I like to kind of rotate around through them. All right, let's get the best of both worlds. And so I did supersets on those with curls, barbell curls. Now I did hammer curls last time, and I did barbell curls this time. So I've been rotating those two back and forth a little bit between better overall arm development and grip versus direct bicep work. Well, in the case of today, because I did those dumbbell rows, they really work my brachioradialis and grip so well. I'm not always worried about it as much. Now, if I wanted to take the same approach to the biceps and the rows that I do on the bench, what would we do? We would just do hammer curls. And I like hammer curls. I think they're a great exercise. However, I just decided today, since sleep was a little bit not good last night, I've got a deadlift tomorrow. In the event that my sleep doesn't get caught up tonight, I don't want my grip to be failing because I did a bunch of hammer curls today. So this is also a factor. We also stopped at 3 sets. Why? Why did we do twice as much tricep work as bicep work today? Kind of the same thing. Same concept. We know that biceps have a lower minimum effective volume than triceps, and they have a lower volume tolerance. So given a choice, I'm going to tend to do a little bit more tricep than bicep work. Also, it's more useful to my sport, and then we don't want to have bicep overuse because I deadlift over 600 pounds with a mixed grip. It's not bad for a 46-year-old, I think. It's pretty decent. I think it's decent. It's respectable. I don't want to tear a bicep. I don't want to have those tendons be fatigued too much. That's something I think about too as far as overuse goes, reducing that chance of injury. So then we just finished up with a bunch of JM presses. So the last 3 sets of the whole workout, JM presses, did 6 sets of 10 with a plate on each side. Again, happy with that. Felt a ton of tricep activation. My elbows felt okay doing them today. So I hope it has been informative, and I'll talk to you guys next time.